So, I greet you all for a happy, prosper, and safe life. It's a presentation with reference to the crime investigation theory. The methodologies, as I could perceive and documented it as follows, like statements and testimonials protocols, that how it could be taken, the statements of the people to whom the matter belongs, about the testimonials, like what kind of references or observation they have. Principles are as like swings of reflections of visuals and silent echo of voices are part and parcel of memories, like how we spend our days. We may have some like swings of reflections of visuals, that what we saw, and silent echo of voices, like what we listened at the point of observation. These are the part and parcel of memories, like these are integral components of our memories. Then visualization techniques includes backward and forward recalling of the same visuals and audible voices during conversation. Visualization techniques includes backward and forward recalling of the same visuals and audible voices during conversation. Like we can recall the memories, what we saw, and the voices. And my memory development technique exercise includes following steps: laying down calmly, you can lay down on your bed, remembering the pictorial image of sculpture of the god or goddess, remember the god in his own format, then observing the rhythm of the breath for a while. You observe that how your breathing patterns are. Then thinking systematically in retrogression, like you just think in systematic manner in retrogression, that what we observed, what you saw, what were the footages appearing in your mind, in your reflection. Like what was, for example, what was my last activity? Like I wrote it yesterday that I had switched off room light before lying down in my bed. Then earlier, which was my last activity before I switched off room lights? Like I kept aside my utensils. Earlier I had finished my dinner. Before that I had poured mildly boiled water into pot. Earlier before I took food item into dining plate. Earlier before I had bought capsicum, vegetables, cumin, tomatoes and green chili from local weekly retail markets. Earlier before I ate jalebi. Earlier before I ate one samosa and one litti. Earlier I left my room to go to the market. Earlier before I watched Twitter broadcast by our National Security Advisor. Earlier before there were news flash on YouTube. Earlier I was meditating to the goddess Durga. Earlier before I arrived to my room from evening walk. Earlier before I met and greet many known and friendly people. Earlier had telephonic conversation. Earlier talked about forthcoming elections with known friends. Earlier before I went to the evening walk, so onwards. In this manner, I may recall and remember things and about my day activities. Respectively, the neurostimulations to the conscious mind includes focusing and emphasizing on remembering about the person of dearest belongingness. Like we spend our time for memorizing or remembering people, and our conscious mind focus emphasizes on remembering about the persons of dearest belongingness to us. In this manner, our brain functions. The principle applies for remembering about learned subject, that what we have learned while our study. Then the innate learning pattern of our mind shapes our memories. The way how we learn and our approach to learn shapes our mind, and it shapes our memories. There are stages of awakening state of mind. We may feel sense of awakeness, subconsciousness, like sense of consciousness, dreams during sleep, like while we sleep, we may dream, as well as scary senses that some unknown conscious invisible beings are expressing themselves. It appears sometimes that we feel. There are related explanations of superstitions, but there are other factors about your PTSDs, post traumatic stress disorders related reflections of memories. That if you see something devastating, it may have bad impression on our mind. So there are stages of awakening state of mind, subconsciousness, dreams during sleep, as well as scary senses that some unknown conscious invisible beings are expressing themselves. Another factors are it increases the heartbeats and fear. It increases the heartbeat and fear. And the next one is sometimes it appears that some known near and dear people who are far situated from us since long period are transmitting their blessings. Compassionate affection, sufferings, aspirations, worries, and desire to us. That how they feels. So we may feel that some known near and dear people who are far situated from us since long period are transmitting their blessings. Compassionate affection, suffering, aspirations, worries, and desire to us. They can meet, they can travel, but it depends upon their own will, their wishes. But the satire kind of explanations are not good. That why can't you come to meet? Were there a certain accident? Such kind of explanations are not good. Sometimes it appears that some known near and dear people who are far situated from us since long period are transmitting their blessings, compassionate affection, sufferings, aspirations, worries, and desire to us. However, logical frame of reference about possibilities of telemetry is still mystery for me. We may communicate. We may communicate through our oral oration with the people audible to us. How we speak. So we may communicate through our oral oration with the people audible to us. We may receive or transmit the written messages. That what are the essence and message transmitted through this written means. We may try to understand the sign language, the sign and notions of explanations. However, there are evitable possibilities that we may not clearly understand the message communicated to us through different communication mediums. There are possibilities that the communicated message are not transmitted properly. Hence, there are possibilities of miscommunication related with passage of information. Hence, there are several communication barriers. There are several communication barriers which restricts receptibility of message, such as a lack of knowledge about vocabularies. Unless and until we know about the word meanings, we won't be able to understand the transmitted message, the information. The next one is about ignorance of language. If we can't know, if we don't know, if we don't know English or Hindi, we won't be able to understand the message communicated in that respective language. Accessibility of information, whether the related informations are accessible for us or not. Like if we are reading newspapers, we would be able to learn about the news broadcasted in the print media. If you will watch news bulletins, you could be able to know about the message broadcasted on that digital visuals. So, accessibility of information determines, and it's one among the communication barriers. Comprehension skills, like whether we are able to comprehend the communicated message, that what kind of informations are being broadcasted. It is also vital for us, also significant. So we have to improve our comprehension skill. It includes interrogation, question framing and answering, that what kind of message are being broadcasted. Paying sincere attention to the received messages, like what kind of message you received. You should pay sincere attention to the received message. Focus on understanding while reading. While you are reading or listening or viewing the broadcasted information bulletin, then you should pay focus to understand that what are the key points communicated through this information bulletin. Another factors are like there are receptivity of the receiver. It's about your capacity, which increases with the passage of time. The more you practice, the more you would be able to emphasize, focus, and your receptibility will improve. And it includes further documentation about the shared statements and testimonials, how they feels, what about their experiences, their reflection of memories, so that it could be properly systematized for further processing, because there are several sensitive matters that need to be obeyed properly. And sincere attention to the corresponded message determine our enlightenment. Sincere attention with sensitivity to the corresponded message, like what they corresponded, what they expressed, what they shared, whether we paid our due sincere attention to understand, to listen the corresponded message or not. So, sincere attention to the corresponded message determine our enlightenment. Enlightenment in the sense we could become aware. We may have required knowledge, skill, so that we can frame our attitude that what was good, what was bad. So it depends upon our sincere attention. Like I have interpreted about my opinion about the scientific principle of communication. You may differ, you may agree, you may disagree about the correspondence, about the communication. So, how we follow, how we process. If you receive some message, like if you are receiving any, what we can say, signals, any letter, so it's the beginning of communication. If you had received the letter, further you have to ensure communication. You can approach to contact them, you can reply to their letters, you may ask for the contact number, you may contact them, you may discuss about the communicated message that I had received so and so informations from your end. So will you let me know about the related feelings or explanations, and how can I support you about the communicated subject matter? Completion of the cycle of correspondence and communication ensures proper linkage of the feelings and sense of belongingness of the peoples among whom the messages were communicated or corresponded. So, the sincere attention to the corresponded message determine our enlightenment. I have interpreted above my opinion about the scientific principles of communication. Like there are certain points of worry or suspicion. Like if you are worried or you are suspicious, like were someone killed from my family? If you think, if you worry, you may initiate your communication to know how, to know about their whereabouts, how they are, where they are. And the communication barriers should be removed, eliminated, so that proper linkage among your kins, among your relatives could ensure sustenance. Are the suspected accused were detained? You can ask, you can inquire, you can talk, you can discuss with your family members. Another factors are, were they inquired? If there were certain suspected accused, so whether the proper system were followed or not. Another aspects would be, are they altering the evidence? Like if certain evidence were collected, observed, then there are proper system for its monitoring and supervision. Like are they altering the evidence? Were there accidental death? Where? Whom? were there relevant clues or evidence to testify the reported incident, whether that was accident or it was intended attack. You may think that are there are there planned suppression against me and or my family? You may think you may become more sincere. Are there planned suppression against me or my family? Why? You inquire, you discuss, you think, why? By whom? So you can share. Then the next aspect, like did they projected me or someone else that you are accidental, PMCM, whatsoever, and there are like political inclinations that you are thinking like this. Another aspects, like were there were there any cunning enemies? If there are like such blame game or political influenced propagandas, then you may have to think, were there any cunning enemies? If you doubt someone due to their evil intent or such behaviors with you, you may think about that. Who were they? But these things depends upon the system of communication. Since when? How you observe since when? There might be certain explanations about the question. They projected, plotted, and crushed someone to die. Whom? Were they supposed to curse someone, abuse someone, accuse someone, harm someone, kill someone? Who were they? Whom they attacked? When? Where? And how? So you may think, were any member of the family killed? Are they hiding the truth from me? Why? Why can't they explain the reality? Who were involved in intentional enemy against my family? Who were involved? Were there safe means of transportation? Am I supposed to know? What are the related factors? And were the proper method of medical legal facilities available to the survivor of the victims? So I have shared my understanding about crime investigation theory, forensic investigation. There are other scientific and expert means for its observation, and the system continues. So we must communicate and correspond to know about the whereabouts of people associated with us.